Hello and welcome to my second Java tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be covering how to make variables and use them. So, in last tutorial, we talked about this, and you should still have this program here. If you don't, pause the video and type it up. So, we're going to move this down and start talking about variables. There are three types of variables. There are integers, doubles, and strings. Each variable has a code word for it. Integer is int, no capitals. Double is just double without any capitals. And string is string with the S capitalized. So, to make a variable, you first type the type of variable you want, then the name of your variable. So you know how variables can be like y and x are the variables for the x and y coordinate planes? Well, suppose I want to name my variable Henry. It can be more than one letter, so you don't need to worry. And then you add a semicolon, just like with these, and that is a variable Henry. But right now, the variable Henry doesn't have a meaning. It doesn't have a value, and so we have to set it a value. So Henry equals, well, for an integer, it's basically negative a very, very small number to a very high number. But it can't go over like 14 digits or something. So what we will do is we will set it equal to 16. Now, this is a good way to assign variables and is often used. But another thing you can do is you can just take this step out and equals 16. You can declare what a variable's value is while creating it. So now we got the integer down. It's a number, can't go above like 100 billion, can't go below negative 100 billion. Now we're going to do doubles. So a double, so we'll call our double Henry 2. And a double is the same as an integer, except it has a decimal place. It can go up to like 12 decimal places or something. If you try to put an integer with a decimal place like 16.47, you'll get an error. See right there? Cannot convert from double to int. So now if we set our double equal to 16.43, we don't have an error. That is perfectly fine because the double is meant to have a decimal place. Lastly, string with a capital S. We'll call it Henry 3, and we'll set it equal to hi, the word hi. So when declaring a string, just like when putting text in, you need these symbols on either side of your text. So now we're going to type in the text hi. By the way, the thing I showed you in the beginning where you declare the variable, then later set the variable to another value, you can do if you already have a variable. Like, suppose you have Henry is 16. Now you can put Henry equals 12 and Henry 2 equals 6.37. So by the end of this string, you will have set Henry to 16, set Henry 2 to 16.43, set Henry 3 to high. But then it's like, but wait, Henry needs to be 12. I guess he lied. Oh well. And then Henry 2 needs to be 6.37. Now, here's a cool thing. You can replace these with a variable. So instead of saying hello world, I might want to say hi. So I would type in Henry 3, which if you look up here stands for hi and doesn't get changed later on. And now we're just going to run that. This we don't really need. So we're just going to run it. And see, right there, hi. It ran this. It says, do all this stuff. Okay, I need to print something. And it says, I need to print Henry 3. Henry 3 equals hi. You can do the same thing with a double, like Henry 2, which is, it goes it starts out as this, then changes to this, then prints itself out. So this equals that. You can do the same thing with Henry, the variable. And if you run that, right here, 12. Henry equals 12. So that is the basics for variables. You can, suppose I wanted another integer that equals, another double. Needs to be a double for this. That is called Henry 4. And I want to set it equal to Henry 2 times Henry. You can do that. You just need to make sure that it is a double, because when you multiply these together, you're going to get something that has a decimal place, and you want a double to store that. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it, Henry 2, and paste it again, Henry 4. So basically it's saying Henry 1 is 12, Henry 2 is 6.3. Well, we already said it's something else, but we're changing Henry to 12. We're changing Henry 2 to 6.37. Now it's saying I'm going to print out Henry, which equals 12. I'm going to print out Henry 2, which equals 6.37. And then I'm going to multiply them together and store it in Henry 4. And then I'm going to print out Henry 4. So see what happens when I run this? It says 12, 6.37, and then it multiplies them together and stores it in Henry 4. And then it prints it out, and that is the value. So keep in mind that an integer cannot have a value like that. It will give you an error always. So doubles are more useful, but if you're going to make a complex program, it takes up less RAM if you use integers, which is their main use, is to take up less RAM than doubles. Else, like, strings would automatically be like 50 bazillion spaces long and stuff. So that is the end of this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we will be going over system.out.print format. So see you in the next tutorial.